For some, success might be financial achievement, becoming a millionaire, for example. For some, it might mean accolades. For sportsmen, it may mean trophies, championships, or medals. For some, being successful might simply mean achieving a state of wellness, health, or happiness, whatever it means to you. Take note of these 10 habits of all successful people. They apply to any area and any meaning of success. Number one, they set goals. You've probably never met a successful person who doesn't set goals. Because the chances of you finding what you want without a clear target to move forward are right around zero. If you don't know where you're going, you will end up someplace you didn't plan to be. Setting goals should be the number one priority for anyone seeking success. Define exactly what it is you want, your end goal. Break down exactly what is required to get there. Mini goals. Make sure your why, your reason for doing what you must do, is strong. So when you hit those roadblocks, when things go wrong, as they always do, you have the strength and purpose to keep going. Number two, they take responsibility for their life. Another key attribute of all successful people is they take complete responsibility for the success and the failures in their life. Unlike the majority, they never play the victim role. If something doesn't work out, they don't blame others. They learn the lesson. Learn one more way not to do something and move on quickly. Your energy is always best spent in the present and planning for the future. Your thought process should always be, how can... Let's go, let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Super excited to go ahead and be on with everybody. We are fired up. This week is absolutely flying by. We are Friday already. TGIF, the growth includes Friday. Phenomenal topic coming in already so far this morning, right? Nano breaking down the different keys to a journal, right? I remember even for myself, journaling used to be one of the toughest things for me to actually sit down and do. A couple of different reasons. Why? I didn't know what to do with the silence. I was never really a big writer, and I had no idea what to actually go ahead and put down. So him being able to just go ahead and throw all those different layers to really understand journaling and in detail, to really know why it's powerful to go ahead and implement it in so many different styles is huge. So I love that. We are on day 105. Matter of fact, when it comes down to the journaling, to the gratitude, to really digging deep to the inner work. So go ahead and drop how many days is everybody on as far as your challenge goes. I'm so proud of you. Let's go. Day 95. I love it. I love it. Deanne's been super consistent. John, I see you guys. Let's go. So gratitude. What is everybody grateful for coming into today? Shane and Talina tapping in. I see you, family. Grateful for God. Grateful to be alive. Grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. And grateful actually that we held it down over here during the hurricane. Thank God everything is all right. So super happy for everybody on here, for you guys taking the time to really become the best version of yourself. We are ending this month of November to remember very strong. We're coming into the end of the year with a lot of knowledge, a lot of growth, and a ton of momentum coming in to 2023. So it is safe to say that we are on the right path. So family, I'm ready to go ahead and dive into today's topics for today. We're going to be talking about the 10 tips becoming successful. Okay, this is straight out of right here, Millionaire Success Habits, Dean Graziosi. This is an absolute monster. This book is jam-packed full of value, right? Because what he did is he studied some of the top income producers in the world, right? The 1%, and he wrote down their habits, right? What are millionaire success habits that they're doing on a daily basis that any of us can go ahead and apply? So today, we're going to go ahead and take a deep dive into 10 different habits that anybody can go ahead and apply, getting into today. Nikki says she has it. She needs to get into it. Well, don't worry. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a good little excerpt of it today. All right. Let me go ahead and get this up. All right, y'all ready? Pen and paper's out. We got the blue ink. Even for those of you that don't know, tuning in, why blue ink is so powerful. You know, even just breaking down. You know, for me, I'm a
I went to college for marketing. So I understand how powerful colors play a role in the brain and psychology, right? If you guys look at all fast food places, they all have the colors red and orange, right? Wendy's, Taco Bell, you guys can think of probably 10 different ones right now, McDonald's. So there's a reason why colors actually influence our psychology. So there's a reason why we actually write in blue ink. So even there's a millionaire habit for you today. There's a reason why, right? When you take the time and start actually studying. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first millionaire success habit, and today is 11/11. What a cool day. 11/11 on 11/11. Paint your vision. So here we go. Let's dive into it. So if you guys have the book, you can go ahead and get into it. Success habit number one that they go and talk about inside of here is defining what happiness looks like for you. Okay. This is something that I had to learn over the course of this journey, and just really just digging deep into myself, figuring out what it is that I want. What is happiness to me, right? Because we get so caught up in social media, being able to see, the cars and the different houses, but truth be told, success is different to everybody. Success might to one person be getting in an RV, getting in a van, and being able to literally go road trip through 38 states over a course of a couple months. That could be success to somebody, or it could be like my mentor Sean G. Murphy. He actually bought, he once had a mansion. He lived that life over there in Texas. He was very successful, made a 7-figure income, bought a mansion over there in Texas, lived the dream life, and watch what happens. Okay, this is very interesting. I'm going to give you guys a story so you can really understand. Okay, he ended up taking a lot of his money, right, and actually invested into a new business, into a traditional business, right? So made pretty much 7 figures in network marketing, took that money, invested in a traditional business, and guess what? That business ended up going out. So he had pretty much $1 million worth of physical product, and he could do nothing with it because the business no longer existed. So you know what he ended up doing? He went bankrupt. So he went from having, a farm boy that had no real education to becoming this huge success, speaking all over the country, to then actually losing it all. So I want you guys to think about maybe some trials and tribulations have happened inside of your life. So understand you're not alone, but this is a very pivotal point. So watch what happens next. You have a chance, we all have the chance to decide to actually go ahead and go after the life that we envision, or to actually go back in our shell and accept failure as saying this is who we are, and we never enter into the new interesting battle. So here's what he ended up doing. He said, you know what? If I did it one time, when I come back again, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not starting from zero. Look at all the experience. Look at all of the lessons that we've been able to accumulate over the course of these couple months, these past couple years. So now when you come back into the journey, you're not starting at ground zero. You're starting at a whole different starting point. Okay. So actually over the course of literally a handful of years, built this business up, created a phenomenal brand for himself. And he was actually able to go ahead and purchase his dream spot, 30 acres of land over there in Arkansas. And he's actually going to build multiple different houses, not just for himself, for his wife, a separate one for his son. And it's overlooking this beautiful mountain view, literally hundreds of feet above the lake. And it's overlooking this huge, vast, just blissful view. And it's all his. And he's able to literally go ahead and create what he wants. And the vision gets deeper. He envisions being able to create a huge 500 to 1,000 person auditorium where people are traveling from all around the world to come and give value, to come speak, to come get life-changing experiences on his 30 acres of land. That's happiness to him. So I want you to think about, what is happiness for you? This is literally why I named myself Define Dreams, because I realized most people have never taken the time to define their own dreams, to figure out what it is that they really want. Because until you figure that out, we're going to flow through life. There's not a lot of passion. There's not a whole lot of desire and fire inside. And it's easy just to get sucked into distractions. So this was a huge point for me. So take the time today and go ahead and figure out what makes you happy. What fires you up? Is it the trading side? Is it e-commerce? Is it being able to really impact people? Like, what inside of this platform really excites you? Because here's the deal. I wasn't really excited about trading at the beginning. I wasn't ecstatic to go and stare at these charts that I had no idea what I was looking at. But when I understood what it could do for me, this is why writing gratitude, it's not just about I'm so happy and grateful I'm making $100,000 a month. It's about the because. It's not about the money. It's about what we're going to actually do with the money. So I had to figure out, why am I even going to take the time to really learn the skill set of trading? Because I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to experience different cultures. I want to be able to go ahead and give back to my family. I want to be able to close my eyes, throw a dart at a map, and be able to fly there next week if we wanted to go. That was happiness to me. Being able to see other people step into the highest version of themselves, that gave me a high like I've never ever experienced before. That became my new addiction. And now it's just like I feel awkward not growing myself every day. I feel uncomfortable if I'm not showing up leading by example every day. That became my new happiness. And as you grow, it starts to change, it starts to redirect, but you're going to grow as you elevate. That's what life is about. So number one, figure out what it is for you. Huge one, huge topic. I had to take some time with that one. Number two is going to be being present. Make the present your friend. Okay, this is if we're being honest, if we're being truthful, right? As always, this was one of the hardest things for me. It's so easy to sit in anxiety thinking about the future, and it's so easy or to be anxious thinking about the past, and it's just as easy to be stressed thinking about the future, what's about to happen next. But the present moment, this is the only place we can create. This is the only place that we can really go ahead and have the magic moments that we need, that produces what it is that we envision. So how many times do we get stuck in the thinking about what could go wrong in the future? How many times do we get stuck in the thinking saying the what ifs? Well, what if I make a video and I stutter? What if I put myself out there and they don't like me? What if I go after these dreams and I don't actually make it? The what if, I'm going to tell you right now, is one of the biggest dream killers that 95% of people experience. Because all of us, we can go ahead and paint this negative picture all day long. There's so many things that could happen right now, not just in business, but how about if we went that way with life? Look about all the negative things we could paint right now. Oh, I could get sick today. I could go and get hit by a car. There's so many things, there's so many negative things that could happen right now. But where focus goes, energy flows. Right? It's the same thing. If we're carrying, how many of you have ever been carrying a full plate of food or maybe a full glass and you're carrying it to a table, you're carrying it to somebody, and we think about spilling it before we get there and then we spill it? Why? Because where focus goes, energy flows. So the same thing goes when it comes to what it is that we're saying, what it is that we're thinking. The what ifs, as far as the negative scenarios, forget about it. Okay? And being in the present, here's what you need to understand. When you can let the past melt away, and you can stop focusing on the fictional future and start to be able to learn to live in the moment, that's when gratitude and happiness begins. Some of you have heard of the book Ask and It Is Given, right? With a phenomenal author, one of my favorite authors, Eckhart Tolle. Here's what they say inside of that book, okay? Inside of The Power of Now, right? There's multiple different books, but The Power of Now is a really good one. When you live in the now, you will finally find inner peace and happiness. So no more delayed gratification. You have the ability to be happy right here, right now, today. And this is so important because every day that we're holding our happiness in somebody else's hands, somebody else has the key, we're delaying our we're living in delayed gratification because we're finding all these little distractions to send dopamine so we can go ahead and feel good. When in reality, we could let go of what's literally holding us down and be able to live in the present moment. This is why meditation is so powerful, because this is probably the only 5 to 10 minutes that most people actually experience where they get to be in the present moment. Okay, and stillness is where we create. So it's important to take the time to go ahead and take it for yourself. Number 3, overthinking. Okay. One of the biggest habits that successful people understand is overthinking is one of the biggest killers. And for me as well, all of these hit me like a brick because I've been through all 10 of these, right? I've definitely experienced all 10 of these. So no, you're not alone. I'm one of the most heaviest with number 3 as well. This has to do with, if you're the type of person who says, I'm a perfectionist, right? I have to wait until it's perfect to get it done. Well, you and I can relate very well because that's me. Whether it came to videos, whether it came to speaking, whether it came to trading, whether it came to impacting lives, right? I have to be making all this money to be able to impact people. I have to be able to speak so well before I go out and make a video. I have to have the perfect background and setting before I go out and make this content. I was the king overthinker until I realized perfection is simply just procrastination. It's just giving us excuses as to why we can't put it out. Because here's what I learned. People want to see 2 things. People want to see profits, and people want to see progress. So when I tell you, you just taking the time to become the best version of yourself every day, I promise you, you're going to be on people's radar. Because the truth of the matter is, most aren't growing themselves every day. They're not taking the time to think. They're not taking the time to do unpersonal development. They're not taking the time to journal. They're not taking the time to meditate and actually catch more sunrises than they catch sunsets. This is all important things that I'm telling you. You are so far ahead of the masses, it's not even funny. So when you can stop overthinking, Stop worrying about other people's opinions. Be in the present, put our head down, create, take the actions, learn the skill sets, and we're going to learn more from doing it than we ever will with 20 hours of Zooms and notes and thinking about it. I wonder how I'm going to be able to edify when I make that call. I wonder what the perfect invite actually looks like when I do it for real. When we actually go out and do it, you're going to realize it's not as scary as you think. In fact, you're going to realize you're a lot better than you actually think. And watch how much you grow consistently over a period of time. As you put your head down, you're going to look back 30 days later like, yo, look at all the content that I've made. Look at all the relationships that I've made. Look at all the growth that I've been able to have on the charts. My level of understanding is through the roof because we took out the whole baggage of overthinking. Okay. You're giving up without giving it a shot when we overthink. So this is a big one. I definitely know what that's like. Number 4, the 4th habit out of 10 is going to be focus on a positive outcome. Right? This is why we have both sides. We can focus on the what ifs, the what if the negative things happen, or we can go on the other side, the I wonders. Neno talked about it in the chat, in the call this morning. The questions that we ask will bring about the same similar answers. So if we're asking ourselves negative questions, what is the answer going to look like? We're bringing forth more negative things to go ahead and come about inside of the universe. So I had to start asking myself positive questions. What does my look like when I start developing a whole different level of confidence? What does my impact look like when I start stepping into the highest version of myself? So the same questions go for you. What do you look like when you start letting go of the beliefs of other people? What does your business look like when you stop worrying about what other people are saying, what is that you're doing? What does your trading account look like when you stop over leveraging? Okay, when you start asking yourself positive questions, that's going to start getting you to 1% growth every day. This is the key. Okay. Second thing I want you guys to think about when it comes to just thinking and positive outcomes. When people say, "Oh, you're just thinking happy all the time." Well, here's what's important to know. The world has programmed us to think a certain way about problems. That's just the truth. We're designed to act a certain way whenever even little problems come up or even bigger problems. Most of us freak out. We get very emotional, and these emotions end up dictating all of the actions that we take. Because if we're very emotional at a negative level, what are the actions going to look like? What are the things that we're end up going to be doing that's productive in the day? Most of the time, it ends up being not a whole lot because of the program that we're all used to having when it comes to situations that happen inside of our life. This is why I had to learn. Nothing is either good, nothing is bad. It is simply how we perceive it. It is what it is. Okay. When I lost a trade, it used to be a loss to me. Now it's a lesson because I understand I can learn from what is that happened before. So now I can grow coming into tomorrow. I saw a pattern. I saw it over leveraged, right? I saw maybe I was trading at the wrong time. All of these things play a role, but if you can seriously focus on the positive side and learn from what happens on the other side, this is where real growth transpires. Okay. So number five, let go of specific outcomes. Letting go of specific outcomes, right? Inside of this business, if you haven't learned it already, there's one major thing that needs to be understood. Be connected to everything, but attached to nothing. And this is a game changer. It's not easy to do, but I'm telling you, it's very effective. Because when you're focused on a specific outcome, and it doesn't happen, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's so easy. If you're attached to it, it's gonna break you in half. So here's what I started to learn. I'm not focused necessarily on specific outcomes. I'm learning the skill sets. I'm focused on the responsibility, and I'm letting the world flow to me how it's supposed to flow. If truth be told, I believe in my mind it should have been a chairman a long time ago. But guess what happens? If I was focused on the specific outcome, I would have quit a long time ago. Just like a lot of people, they didn't hit their specific outcomes. So what happened? They quit. But I understand that everything takes time. Everybody has their own process. So I didn't need to focus on the specific outcome because I understand that growth and journey is one of the most important parts of this whole thing. So when I started getting into real growth and real development, I wasn't necessarily focused on specific outcomes. I became focused on the skill sets. I became focused on the responsibilities. Because if you just think about money, guess what happens? You're not going to attract a whole lot of money because we're not learning anything. That's why people that win the lottery, they blow it, they're back to broke again. Because they were just focused on going ahead and spending the money, and now they have nothing to go ahead and do with it. So this is big, right? I had to learn this over the couple years, but I'm telling you, if you can understand this, this is huge, because if you stop staring at your back office, stop staring at the balance in your trading account, and focus on the percentage growth, focus on just getting better on laying that brick as best as we can lay it every day, you're gonna look back and see a whole different person that you shed it into over time. I promise you. Okay. So habit number 6, don't be afraid to fail. There's a reason why F comes before X in the dictionary, right? We've got to fail before we succeed. There's nothing wrong with learning. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with getting out there and swinging the bat. I'm telling you right now. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but baseball players, top athletes, get paid millions of dollars to hit 3 or 4 out of 10 balls, and that's a 300 to 400% batting average, and they get paid millions of dollars. So the same thing goes with trading. You don't have to win every single trade to be successful, to be profitable. You don't have to go ahead and make the perfect videos to go ahead and make a serious impact, to be a person of value, to be a person of increase. So I had to learn this, right? Inside of even Winston Churchill's, one of his most famous books, he says the definition of success is being able to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. Okay. In fact, Sean talks about it all the time. When we're climbing a mountain and we go ahead and we get to the top of the mountain, we finally reach that peak that we're looking for. Guess what happens? There's a new peak to climb. There's a whole new trek to go ahead and go on. So if I was focused on the failures, guess what? I would stop, and I wouldn't even want to keep going. But I understand, as we grow, everything that we do is an experience. It's a lesson to go ahead and learn from. I learned how to get better at speaking by failing at it, by getting out and just stuttering my face off, until I realized it's not as scary as I thought, right? Nobody's looking for perfect. People are looking for the authentic, real you. Okay, so this is big. It's all things that play a major role. Number 7, okay, 4 more for you. Letting go of grudges. Okay, we talk about it all the time. You guys know your grudges is like weights on top of the shoulders. Everybody's grudge is different, but understand, all of the energy that we spend thinking about something else, holding on to something else, is taking away from the energy that can be used in the quantum field, in the creative space. This is it. This is where the magic happens. So understand, if it's a ball of energy right here, and we have all of this energy going away out here, and we have this little pebble right here, we cannot create with that because our energy is dispersed negatively in somebody else's hands. But when we can let go, when we can forget, that's what happens to this ball of energy. Now it expands. Now you can feel whole. Now you can actually know what to do with the silence. Now you can start being able to think and get creative, and really start being able to seriously visualize what it is that you desire and get it in 4K. Okay, so I had to do this. This is a part of my journey as well. So I used to see others winning and others really flying by and wondering, why isn't it happening for me? Till I understood that everything takes time, right? All different scenarios that we can go and play out with grudges, but this is big. So figure out what it is for you. And I'm telling you, it could be a family member, it could be your parents, it could be a sibling. Wherever that grudge is, there's weight on that. If it can be let go, that is a major shift for anybody. Number 8 is being grateful for what's in front of you. Okay, we all know that being grateful by now is the cornerstone of happiness. That's why we're writing down our gratitude every day. That's why we're writing our blessings every day. But here's the difference, okay? Success without fulfillment and happiness is also a massive failure. So this is why inside of this book, here's what I was talking about. It was encouraging us to go ahead and spend today finding gratitude in the small things and let the gratitude grow from there, right? In the quantum field, this is how you start stirring up your quantum field, getting your creative mode, getting in your gratitude, getting in your blessings. Now you can actually feel a center of peace. Now you're able to go ahead and create. So it's real simple. When you can train yourself to be grateful for a simple lunch, for a hug, all of these little things start to add up, and you become literally filled with all of this abundance, with all of this overflow, to now go ahead and now you can put out that video. Now you can go ahead and meet somebody with abundance, and your energy is going to greet them before you even speak. I'm telling you, this is why some people, when you see them, they just have a certain aura about them. You don't even have to meet them. You can see them on social media, and you can just see like, yo, I don't know what it is about them, but I love their vibe. This is how it happens, right? You start shining from the inside out when you're able to start putting these pieces together. 9, I got 2 more for you. 9 is don't settle for good enough. Don't settle for good enough. Don't settle for things just being okay. Here's what I know. If you're on this call, if you're tuning in right now, You're not here to just be average. You're here to absolutely do something great. You're here to leave a legacy for your family's name. You're here to go ahead and make a dent in the universe. You're here to go ahead and make a serious impact in one way, shape, form, or another. So I had to understand a couple different things, okay? How we do anything is how we do everything. And I've gone through certain lows in my life, and I've started to realize the patterns. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a couple different patterns that's happened, okay? When I started to get sloppy with a couple different things, when I started to, I gotta get my charger, my laptop's about to die. When I started to get sloppy with a couple different things, whether it be making my bed, whether it be letting my office space get a little bit dirty, whether it be so many different things, whether I stopped journaling, I stopped meditating, it rippled off into into other areas of my life. When I wasn't spending time with my family, right, making the calls, giving back, showing love, showing that I actually care, and I was just on the road, I'm telling you right now, it's like a chair. If you have pillars that are broken, that are missing, your chair is not going to be able to stand. So I had to realize how I do anything is how I do everything. So I had to literally line out my life into the 6 pillars: my family, mind, body, my finances, my faith, and society. Where was my energy at with each one? Okay, I'm working on my mind. I'm working on my spiritual side. My family side's a little bit slacking. I got my body going. How is the value that I'm giving to society? When you can start to identify that we're striving for excellence in all areas of life, this is where greatness really happens. I want to be that individual that others can look up in all different areas. He's phenomenal with his family. He takes care of his body, right? Lady Boss Nikki, she's focused on her spirituality. Deanne, she's growing herself every single day. She's in the gym. She's becoming the best version of herself. This is where you start tapping into what they call the superhero. People like to do business with those that are like the superhero. You're versatile. You can help them out in all of these different areas: physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, with their family, with society. And guess where it starts? Right here. It starts with us. The speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack. And guess who the leader is? Who's the leader? You. You determine the speed in your life. You determine how you want to go ahead and diversify your energy into all of these areas. And I promise you, when you put them together, you're going to create something that has so much synergy, something that has so much energy inside of your quantum field that the universe has nothing to do but to bring back to you whatever it is you want. God, universe, whatever it is that you believe in. But I'm telling you, all of these principles is not something that's just made up. This is proven. This is documented. So the last but not least that I want to go ahead and leave everybody with, as far as your 10th habit to go ahead and apply from the millionaire success habits, is really simple. Okay? 10 is going to be part of something bigger. Become part of something bigger than yourself. There's something special about when you actually figure out that we're not doing life alone. We're not alone. I want you to think about any trial, anything that you've ever gone through in your life. I want you to ask this question: did I get through that by myself? And if you truly think the answer is yes, my opinion, but I strongly believe that you didn't get through that by yourself. You had a source, some source, God, Allah, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, but we had help with that. We have guidance. We have protection. We have access to wisdom spiritually. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when I started to really understand these laws of success and realizing that we do have access to a creator, we do have access to something that's bigger than us, you start to realize that faith is a very real thing. You know what I realized about faith as I've started to grow and just get around the 1%ers? Most people, when they pray, okay, people think about this. When most people, when they pray, they take the time to go ahead and give out a message, to look for hope, to look for guidance, to look for protection, to look for wisdom. They make the prayer and they go right back into life, scared, fearful, living in lack, living in a life that they don't believe that can truly work out for them. But when you truly know that you have a higher source, you have access to something that is bigger than you, this is where real faith is born. This is where manifestation truly begins, because you understand that whatever it is that we desire in life, when you put it to the pen, when you put it on paper, the future happens the second that we speak something. The future happens the second that we write something. And I'm telling you right now, if you can truly believe what it is that you write down, what it is that you're putting out, All that's left is for time to catch up, for the work to be put in, and for all of these things that are happening off your radar to conspire to allow it to happen into your life. So family, this is my training for you guys today on 10 different millionaire success habits that you can go ahead and apply anytime, anywhere today. So family, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm so excited for the growth that's to come. I've been seeing you all develop into the highest version of yourself. And this is what I know. We are positioned in such a beautiful place, space, and time where we have access to all of this information, all of this mentorship. And here's the deal. We get to decide how far we want to take it, because whatever we put in is what we get out. So understand, family, I'm thankful for you. I'm grateful for you taking the time for yourself, because the only competition at the end of the day is nowhere external. It's right there in the mirror. So look at yourself in the mirror today and say, I am greatness. I believe in you. And I'm so excited for what is here and for what is still yet to come. So family, if you got any value from today, drop some sevens down below. I love you guys. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything you can hold right here in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. I love you, fam. Go out and have an abundant day. Happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend. A lot of growth left to come. We're just
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting